in his first career game against the reigning ACC Most Improved Player and a preseason All-ACC selection, Quinten Post, who wins the jump. And we are off and going in the season opener here from Conti Forum. Jaeden Zackery is out there along with Prince of League Bay, Quinten Post, Claudell Harris Jr., who's the newcomer in from Charleston Southern as a transfer, and Devin McGlockton, a League Bay right to the 10.
That's what he does best, loves crashing into the paint, always willing to sacrifice his body inside. Great score around the cup.
Jasper Floyd goes inside for Peyton Smith. Floyd got it right back, and his three-pointer is true. Jasper Floyd, the junior from Tampa, Florida, who came in from Hillsborough Community College after starting his career with Northwest Florida State College. So kind of similar to Jaeden Zackery, comes in through the junior college ranks, then community college for Floyd, and he knocks down the triple to get Fairfield a 3-2 lead early. Post tried to go inside, good play by Peyton Smith. And then Post reaching for it, collects. And Boston College will be called for a shot clock violation. No reset as no possession was established.
Another look at that bucket by a League Bay. There you see just a path opening up through the middle of the lane there. But you talked about Smith, no easy task, trying to both defend and score against Quinten Post for Fairfield. But you know, they get him an early touch. He set up that three for Floyd. And some good defense on the other end. Chris Casey spoke very highly of the freshman in our call with him early in the week.
So here's Bryson Goodeye, and that name may sound familiar. He started his career in the ACC with Syracuse for a season before transferring to Providence for 2 years. Then last year played just 4 games prior to injury, but they're hoping that the senior from New Bedford, Massachusetts might have an opportunity to really take on a big role for this Fairfield team.
Absolutely, he was, you know, a top 100 recruit coming out of St. Andrews in Rhode Island.
Quinten Post, first chance, no, second effort, good. So Post, in his grad year after starting his career at Mississippi State, his 3rd season with Boston College after he missed the first 13 games last year due to injury, ended up playing 19 for the season. And that's as big as anything as Jaeden Zackery off the turnover and is blocked. Bryson Goodeye in good position, but the follow from Post.
Well, this is textbook Jaeden Zackery here, the poke. He catches Goodeye sleeping, picks his pocket. Great recovery for the block by Goodeye, but no quit on the play by McGlockton. Feeds Post crashing in, and no choice but to give the foul. And something Quinten Post, I think, learned along the way, especially last year, is especially when you get to the ACC, you got to be able to finish through contact.
Quinten Post was an 86% free throw shooter last year. Kind of your classic modern big. He's a good three-point shooter. He's good from the floor. In fact, last year, Post 50% from the floor, 40% from three, 80% from the line, all above that, and averaged 15 points. He was the first player in 10 years in Division I basketball to average over all 4 of those totals.
Yeah, it was crazy to see that that has not happened in a decade. You got to go back to Dougie McBuckets in Creighton.
That's right.
And that just sort of tells you the kind of the rarefied capability that Post brings to the game. If he can consistently do that, he'll attract some scouting attention as well.
Claudell Harris Jr. first opportunity not there. All Big South second team selection last year. There's a three-pointer that's good. Michael Rogan, the redshirt freshman who redshirted last year, came in from the South Kent School in Connecticut. And Fairfield back within 1.
Something to keep an eye on early on, Eric. Couple threes for Fairfield. Remember, BC had some struggles defending the three-pointer last year, especially in their tournament loss against the Tar Heels.
Huge matchup advantage here for Boston College. Post against Smith, and Post wins again.
That's just bully ball inside.
Yeah. Early 7 for Quinten Post.
Smith kind of gave him a shoulder coming back up the floor. They're already getting into it.
Peyton Smith was too long. Out of bounds, it will go to Boston College.
And you could see Post is in his head a little bit early on. He hurried that shot, barely had it on his fingertips before he let it go.
Well, Chris Casey talked about Peyton Smith, and he said he's really grown the last few weeks. worked hard on getting up and down the floor, but there's still the challenge of doing things faster at the speed of college basketball, and a very difficult matchup in game number 1, again against Quinten Post. Mason Madsen into the game for the first time for Boston College, as well as Chaz Kelly, the sophomore. Mason Madsen sporting a bit of a different look, as that's nearly turned over. Bryson Goodine, aggressive. Also, Armani Mighty, the sophomore from Toronto, is into the game. A bunch of changes here for BC. Louis Bleachmore, the senior from Australia, in for the first time for Fairfield. Quinten Post could not keep it in without stepping on the line. So good pressure defense by Fairfield there, making life difficult for Boston College to inbound.
Yeah, really tough spot. You're having inbounded from your own corner with only 2 seconds to get it over midcourt. So basically all you could do there was throw a lob up to the big man, and Obi could either catch it and land in bounds or redirect it.
Three-point look again. Bryson Goodine is too strong. And Quinten Post has the rebound. Eagles in transition. Mason Madsen falling away, swings around Post, waits, back for Kelly. Three-pointer is in and out. And then a foul on the rebound try will stay here with Boston College.
Good ball movement from BC. Something they talked about in the preseason was trying to expand their repertoire a little bit offensively. You know, they still want to be gritty, but maybe a little bit more pretty, especially on the offensive end. They just really struggled to get any sort of consistency shooting the 3-ball last year outside of Quinten Post.
Here is Post for 3. Just a little strong. Mason Madsen with an offensive rebound. Oh, Grant told us earlier today he feels like his offense is actually a bit ahead of his defense, which is a little bit different from what he's used to as such a defensive-minded coach. Couple of offensive rebound tries for Boston College, but then Fairfield grabs it, and we step aside. BC 9, Quinten Post 7, Fairfield 6.
So I'm at McDonald's.
If you got to try McDonald's Mambo sauce.
Struggled a little bit down the stretch in the season in the MAC, but really their best attribute was their ability to defend the 3. 7th best nationally held opponents at 29%. That was really their calling card a year ago. They also got to the line a lot and made a lot of free throws.
Well, and that's going to be important, right? Especially in the Metro.
Bryson Goodine out front, beat Madsen and puts it in.
Nice home run pass there, design off of the press coming out of the timeout by Boston College. But to finish the point about Fairfield's 3-point defense, and when we talked to Chris Casey, he said this league is full of unbelievable guards and you have to be able to defend them.
Madsen's three-pointer was way off, but ended up a league bay with a rebound, and then Armani Mighty follows it up. Michael Rogan a little bit short on the 3 to answer. You know, Armani Mighty is someone who really might have a chance to take a jump as we look at the inbound. Bryson Goodine with the opportunity. Mighty, who put on nearly 20 pounds of muscle this offseason, and Earl Grant said, you know, depending on the situation, but there's a chance for a little bit of a jump there for the sophomore who played just about 4 minutes a game last year.
I mean, there's going to be some opportunity for somebody in the front court. I mean, obviously, Quinten Post isn't going to come off the floor a whole heck of a lot. Jaeden McGlockton, their spots in the rotation are pretty secure, but there's going to be opportunity for, you know, an additional big. It's just going to be who's going to win those minutes.
Follow up good. Devin McGlockton with his first points. Another one in the front court. Really, the season last year that we talked about it, the guy who can take the leap. He started 10 of the last 11 games, 6 points per contest a season ago. That went up as a starter, though, as the year went on.
I mean, he's such a difference maker in the sense that he does the little things. He really embodies that gritty, not pretty mentality that Earl Grant wants this team to have.
Offensive rebound by Michael Rogan. And inside, Jack Brown, who's a former walk-on, expected to get some minutes this year for Fairfield, and he traveled.
I mean, McGlockton, you know, he's never really going to wow you on the score sheet, you know, outside of the occasional game here or there, but he's always going to crash the boards. He's always going to defend. He's always going to run up and down the floor. And when you do those little things, you know, they always help a team win.
Donald Hand Jr. back from injury in just his second game last year when he tore his ACL. There's Kelly, sophomore for 2. Played in 30 games last season, averaged about 15 minutes per contest for Chaz Kelly. Someone who's going to be key in the backcourt along with Donald Hand, as they spelled Jaeden Zackery.
Yeah, you talk about BC being in the conversation at the end, the growth of those two players from year 1 to year 2, even with Hand being injured last year.
And there's Chaz Kelly out front, creates the turnover, and he is stripped. Jasper Floyd stayed with him stride for stride.
Right idea by Kelly here. He takes it into the body of Floyd, just exposes the ball a little bit. Nice little quick jump step to the left to set up the jumper. Got away with a little grab of the arm there, but knocked the ball loose.
Madsen passed it up. Inside for Mighty. It was just a bit out of reach. Post, Zackery, and Harris all back in for Boston College. Matt Curtis, the freshman, in for the first time for Fairfield.
Yeah, that was sort of an interesting 5 on the floor, right? You didn't know who was necessarily going to be responsible for initiating the offense. It kind of fell onto Kelly's shoulders, but you didn't really have necessarily a true go-to guy on the floor there for BC. So half-court offense breaks down a little bit, and you get Zackery and Quinten Post back in the game.
Peyton Smith falling away. A little bit short. Here's Quinten Post going to work. Nice find for Claudell Harris, who's fouled.
Really good patience here by Post. You can see he's setting it up the whole way, just waits until Floyd really commits. And Harris makes his cut, finds him on a nice pass over the top again. Just, you can't teach 7 foot.
Claudell Harris, we talked about it, all Big South second team last year. He was second in the conference with 17.5 points a game. It's also a Big South all freshman team selection. Native of Louisiana, one of 2 native Louisianans on the Boston College roster.
Well, the interesting thing when you talk about Harris is a lot of the questions that you sort of bring up with Quinten Post about consistency are kind of the same things you talk about with Claudell Harris Jr. Just, you know he can score. You know he can score in the Big South. Can he score consistently in the ACC? And that's sort of the question that we'll find the answer to during the year.
Curtis pull up, in and out. Donald Hand with the defense. And out on the run, leading the offense for McGlockton. 4 points for Devin McGlockton. And that's what Donald Hand Jr. can do, back healthy after he had a knee injury just 27 seconds into his second game against Detroit last year. Jasper Floyd and a travel.
It's that 1-2 on the jump step. Take a look at that fast break and the execution by Donald Hand. Really good patience here. Got Floyd to hesitate, thought about giving up that ball early, and then waited until McGlockton was basically at the rim to feed it to him. Already 5 turnovers for Fairfield.
Elijah Strong, a freshman's in there for the first time for Boston College. There's Post!
Oof, he just took the freshman to school there. Old school, little quick pivot of the hips, rising to the rim for the flush.
9 points early for Quinten Post. There's Rogan's jumper is good. Michael Rogan, who knocked down a 3 earlier. That's 5 early points for Michael Rogan, the redshirt freshman, playing for the first time after a redshirt year. Jaeden Zackery's got a lane as Zackery got the friendly roll.
We'll need a little more of that from Jaeden Zackery. The drive, but also the finish is really the big part of it.
Smith finds Rogan. May have been affected, but it's knocked down. With Elijah Strong in his face, Michael Rogan off to an excellent start. That's 8 points on 2 triples.
You're a shooter. Even with a hand in his face, did not matter that time.
Harris traveled.
Tried to hold that pivot foot, just slid on him a little bit.
11:01 to go in student body. And they've watched their team off to a good start. 10-point lead. And Jaeden Zackery will be called for the foul. It's the second foul called on Boston College. What a start for Michael Rogan, who has 8 of Fairfield's 13 points so far, 2 threes, and 1 just inside the arc as well. Redshirt freshman, the first action of his college career. Matt Curtis working against Fred Payne, who's in the game for the first time. There's a triple try, no good from Bryson Goodine. A couple of freshmen in there for Boston College. Here's Quinten Post, wide open, triple. 12 for Quinten.
He's putting on a show here in the first half.
Good answer at the other end from Matt Curtis out of Northwest Catholic High School. 3-time All-State selection in Connecticut, the program's all-time leading scorer.
And that's saying something. That's a program that's produced a lot of good college players.
Zackery couldn't quite control it underneath. Stays here. Well, we've talked about Quinten Post as the modern big. He's a 43% three-point shooter a season ago.
And when he's able to catch and square up, he can pretty much kiss it goodnight every time.
Post inside is fouled. That's just the size advantage and the experience of Quinten Post against the freshman Peyton Smith.
Yeah, he knows he's going to be able to kind of nudge him off the spot a little bit. And then when he rises up, especially if he goes into the body like he did there, Smith just, just doesn't have the height to match up and really bother his shot. Post does such a good job at keeping the ball high, which is such a key attribute for a post player.
Quinten, who is the 7th leading returning scorer in the ACC this year, so he set a preseason all-conference selection. And brings back the 4th best returning field goal percentage in the conference. He test the NBA draft waters, but decided to return to Boston College. And there is an offensive foul on Fairfield.
Curtis tried to sell a little bump against him. It's a moving pick.
Zackery backing down, spins around Goodine and hits. Boy for Jaeden, who averaged just under 11 a game last year. One of the real success stories of Earl Grant's tenure at Boston College. Found him out of junior college. He's arrived at BC and really been an important X factor. What a block from Post! Well, Quinten Post has certainly come to play here in the opener.
Absolutely, intensity right out of the gate for the big man. Says, not in my house, Anthony Davis Jr., and told him to just stay on the floor there.
Goodine inside. Couldn't finish at the rim. And a 4th rebound for Post. Harris in transition. That's too strong on the 3.
Feels like he's still finding his way in the offense a little bit.
Other end, Michael Rogan's try not there. Beg your pardon, that was Jack Brown on the three-pointer. Floater does not get the friendly roll for Madsen. And out of bounds, going the other way.
Yeah, Post wanted the lob, but was sandwiched in. Madsen elected to call his own number there.
It's a rare miss for Boston College. 7 of their last 9 from the floor.
And they know they're going to be able to attack the paint pretty effectively with their size advantage inside. Not just Post, but, you know, when McGlockton's in the game or a league bay, you know, they're able to score effectively in the middle as well.
Michael Rogan fall away. No. Inside offensive rebound. Davis. And 2 tries not there. And Prince of League Bay has the rebound for Boston College. Harris out in front. Nice little handoff for Post. And Quinten Post has 15 points. And a timeout, Fairfield. Well, he averaged 15 a season ago to lead Boston College, and at this rate, he's going to average a lot more than that. 15 points, still with 8:04 to go in the first half.
As much use out of the costume as possible if you're spending the dough.
Fair. Boston College's year last year, 9 ACC wins. That was their most in conference play, coming up from 6 in 2021-22, but those 9 wins, the most in 12 years. So last season, 16 and 17, following a 13 and 20 year in year one. They've won 3 ACC tournament games over the last 2 years, 3 ranked wins last season. And they bring back 9 players from last year's team, which is only one of 2 players teams nationally that can say that. So, you know, we talked to Earl Grant about it, and he said, number one, it's just refreshing how many familiar faces there are, so they can go on an overseas trip to Italy and Spain, which we'll talk about. Just a lot of familiar guys. They can put some things in early. That's why he said he felt like they actually put in a lot of offensive stuff early, and the offensive stuff might actually be a little bit ahead of where the defense is to start the season.
And if you can get in some offensive rhythm early through some of these early games, that'll obviously help your team as well. But it's interesting, you go back and it feels like we were seeing some of the same things last year, especially about a lot of returning faces and consistency. But you never know how a season's going to play out. The way the season played out last year for Boston College, things kind of morphed a little bit, where Quinten Post kind of became the guy, especially as he returned from injury and got hot into ACC play. So he's off to a great start. It looks like he's primed for another great season. We don't ultimately know how the year is going to go. Injuries, you know, guys rise to the occasion.
That's the most important thing right now for Boston College, the fact that the only guy in a boot is Earl, who's dealing with an Achilles injury on the sideline, but everybody else is good to go. Quinten Post is fouled going up for a little alley-oop lay-in.
Small lineup on the floor right now for Fairfield. Smith is out of the game, so, you know, it's going to be a challenge for anybody on the floor trying to defend Quinten Post, but especially if you don't really have a true post player in the ball game, it's going to be that much more difficult to keep him from where he wants to get to around the basket.
Fairfield is in the penalty now with 7:33 remaining in the first. Jaeden Smith will indeed come back in here for Brown. And Jr. back into the game for Boston College.
Chris Casey went over to get him, took the towel off his head, gave a quick wipe, sort of like, back into the mines we go.
Well, again, this Fairfield team under this roster construction, this coaching staff has only had 2 weeks of practice, 2.5 weeks of practice or so. There was so much change. Some new assistant coaches that have been added here in recent weeks since some of the coaching changes back in early October. As that one goes down, good look from Jasper Floyd. He has 5 points in the first half. Mason Madsen's wide open. Triple for Madsen. His first points of the season.
When he came in from Cincinnati, that was sort of one of the books on him, as he is a knockdown 3-point shooter.
Floyd, no good. Follow from Rogan was a good opportunity, but just couldn't finish at the rim.
Madsen struggled a little bit on the outside shot last year, just 30% from three. So if he can get it going early, could mean good signs for him over the course of the year.
And was looking for Post. Instead, it cycled through. Tip ball. Donald Hand finds it.
2-3 now.
Madsen steps away. Three-pointer. A little bit short. Bounced around a couple of times before Peyton Smith found the rebound. Mason Madsen against Hand. Draws the foul and the buckets.
That's what Boston College has been doing all night. Quick push up the floor. Missed assignment as Fairfield is trying to switch defenses from a man-to-man into a zone. Madsen got lost in the shuffle. And then this is the type of athleticism that made Goodine a top 100 recruit coming out of high school. Just able to get to the rim, strong take, bends off the body, and still puts it in.
So 6 points for Bryson Goodine. Again, just 4 games last year prior to injury. After 37 games over his 2 seasons at Providence. And for 3, strong. Quinten Post had a piece of the rebound, but then Michael Rogan finds it. It's tipped away. Jasper Floyd on the run. That was affected by Post and Chaz Kelly in there defensively as well. And trying again. Again, he's off the mark from 3. College just 2 for 10 from beyond the arc tonight. Has not mattered so far with the 36-21 lead. Goodine answers. Already 1 shy of his season high from last year.
He knows he's going to have to play a big role tonight. You mentioned early on a couple of the guys that are missing for Fairfield.
There's a 3. Bill Walton knocks it down.
New look for Madsen this year?
Earl Grants was the one who mentioned the look-alike.
Well, if he keeps hitting threes, he won't tell him to cut the hair.
That's right. Well said. I might have to tell him to clean it up if it gets too long, but it's good for now. Goodine spinning through, trying to get free. Slip play to Rogan. That's a pretty good find, but just didn't finish at the rim. Madsen feeling it. Instead gives it off. Prince Aligbe inside, and a blocking foul. Goes Smith against Fairfield. We mentioned the three-point shot for Boston College. They really did not take a ton of threes last year. Really, when they were taking fewer threes was when they were a little bit more successful, in fact, offensively.
Right. I mean, you see the conversion rate around the rim. I mean, 60%, close to 60%. That's something you really expect mostly out of your sort of interior big men when you're shooting close to the rim. So the fact that as a group they were able to hit close to that rate shows how effective they were at getting the ball around the basket, scoring. But ultimately in college basketball, you have to be balanced if you're going to be successful. So the three-point shot is a weapon, can be used as a weapon. Boston College has players who can hit it. It's just a matter of putting them in the right spots to do so.
Pass was thrown away. Rogan behind Floyd. Devin McGlockton back in for Boston College. 39-24, the Eagles lead. Wire-to-wire start. Boston College in the season opener. Donald Hand, third time's the charm. Just good to see him back and healthy. Really highly thought of recruit last year who was injured just moments into his second game of the season. After he played in 13 minutes in the opener against Cornell. Well, Grant thinks he has a real chance to be a significant part of this team this year. Well defended by Goodine. Floyd was there as well. Jasper Floyd tried to dish it off when Armani Mighty was there defensively, and there was just nowhere to go with the basketball.
Yeah, Floyd got caught up in the air. Two big bodies flew at him. He had no choice but to dish it off. Donald Hands, ACC alum. His dad from UVA, he shows the range.
A 42-24 lead, led by Quinten Post, 17 points in this first half. We talked about the idea that maybe the offense a little bit ahead of the defense early in the season. Well, it's certainly been a solid offensive performance, and that's considering the Eagles started 2 of 10 for downtown.
They have hit 2 of their last 3, though.
Goodine for 3, that's good. So Bryson Goodine ties his career high with that triple with 12 points. He said a couple of years ago at Providence.
Starting to take things over for Fairfield. He knows he's going to have to put this team on his back a little bit if they're going to have a chance of getting back in this game.
McGlockton inside. 6 points for Devin McGlockton.
Again, it looks so simple, but it is very difficult in execution, just crashing to the rim. A good, strong finish from McGlockton.
Well, coming up during our halftime report, we'll chat with both Coach Grant and Coach Casey and look behind the scenes with an ACC season preview. Highlight stats, that's all coming up during our halftime report. Rogan finds the offensive rebound, falling away. What a first half from Michael Rogan. He's up to 10 points.
Showed a real good ability to shoot the ball from inside, from outside. It's just a matter of him sort of being able to find his openings. He got a couple good looks early. I think Boston College probably, redshirt freshman, you might not have the top of the scouting report, but they learned about him quick.
Harris, fall away, jumper, rolls off. And then Mighty's going to be a little battle for the rebound. They actually get the foul on Bryson Goodine.
Yeah, they're going to call him for the clear out. Mighty was up in the air, and again, this is, what we've seen a little bit more of the last 2 years. He's up in the air, and after he leaves the ground, that's when Goodine clears him out. And that's that verticality rule. You're entitled to your space essentially within a cylinder. And Goodine deprived him of that. It's 3 guys now with 2 fouls for Fairfield.
And he off the mark on the free throw. So final 2 minutes of the first half. 44-29 lead for Boston College. Right defense from Zackery against Goodine. Goodine slips by, and Zackery is called for the foul on the reach before the basket.
It's been a fun battle to watch here in the first half. Those 2 guys really digging in defensively against one another.
Second foul on Jaeden Zackery, just the 6th on Boston College. Jasper Floyd will inbound underneath. Quickly to Goodine. Nice setup on the inbounds play, but Matt Curtis no good on the 3. Mighty got a size advantage against Jack Brown. Gives it off to Mason Madsen, slipping his way through. Seven to shoot for Chaz Kelly. Lost the handle on it, got it back, looking inside for Mighty, and it's out of bounds off of Boston College.
Nice job defending the pick and roll there. It was a double screen. Mighty set it up one way, and then Kelly allowed him to flip it and set it up on the other. Fairfield did a good job just sort of dropping back, staying at home, and daring Kelly to shoot over the top. And as he went to rise up, he lost the handle.
Boston College is led by as much as 18 in this first half. Goodine. Got it in a foul. A new career high, 14 points for Bryson Goodine. Stepping into a more significant role with Fairfield, as we talked about, down a bunch of key pieces. And Goodine has come to play tonight.
And this was the hope, right? Saw a glimmer of it last year in the 4 games that he played. But the pedigree is there. And you can see the ability, and maybe it's just he sort of had to remind himself of who he is. And that's what he's done over the course of this first half.
So he talked about started his career at Syracuse, played 23 games in the 2019-2020 season. 2 seasons, averaging 7 minutes for Providence, only over 37 games. Only 4 games last year prior to an injury. Donald Hand trying to find something. Right hand, no good. And the Eagles have got a touch cold from the floor here. They're scoreless for the last 2+ minutes. Jasper Floyd down the other end. Curtis, an offensive rebound, is fouled.
Yeah, things just looking a little disjointed the last few possessions for BC offensively. And look, it's, you know, kind of obvious to say maybe, but Quinten Post comes off the floor, and there's sort of a little bit of a looking around like, all right, whose turn is it? Who's going to take over? And that's going to be the feeling out process early in the season, is establishing that pecking order, that natural pecking order that comes on offense.
BC still shooting 52% from the floor. For 2 from the line from Curtis. Shot clock is off, so the Eagles can hold for a final look. Up 44-32. And a foul on Jasper Floyd will send Boston College to the line.
I think this is actually going to be on Rogan, who is keeping Mighty from getting to help set the screen.
Right, it is Rogan, and it's the 10th foul of the half on Fairfield, so 2 free throws for Armani Mighty.
That's another guy with 2 fouls now for Fairfield's. A big roster, but as you mentioned, a bunch of guys out, so hard to say how deep they're really going to be able to go here on night 1.
Goodine back in for Davis. Mighty, who's played 8 minutes in this first half. 2 free throws. Final seconds for Fairfield, and a foul on a reach-in with 5.2 seconds remaining in the first.
I think that's the 3rd on Hand.
So first game returning from injury after missing most of last season. Injury was early enough in the year that he was able to take a redshirt year.
And that's a young foul, right? You know, late in the game, you know, Floyd's not really going anywhere on that drive. The help is available to him. Hand is just, you know, trying to be a little too aggressive and knock the ball away. But that's something that, you know, sort of, as he grows and he learns, he won't make those same kinds of errors in these situations.
Jasper Floyd makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Fairfield brought in Luke Davidson, the sophomore. Bunch of guys with 2 fouls. So Davidson comes in for the final 5.2. Chance to cut it to 12. Those led, as we said, as much as 18. As Kelly spinning through, got taken away. Fairfield a final chance, and almost went from Jack.
Feel better about itself on offense, but I think a big part of that was Quinten Post was off the floor.
Chance inside is blocked at the rim from Goodine. That Was Post there, League Bay was in there as well, and then it's turned over to Jasper Floyd. Floyd on the run. Goodine, what a slam! Caught it with the left hand.
That's one way to keep your confidence high. Climb the ladder.
And Fairfield is within 10. They have not been this close in a while.
I know it's college basketball season, not football, but that ball got mossed.
Claudell Harris, a little bit strong on the jumper. Still trying to find his stroke in his first game as an Eagle. Transfer from Charleston Southern. Jasper Floyd got tied up. And a jump ball. Possession will go back the other way to Boston College.
Nice stay-at-home defense here by Harris. Tough giveaway there by a League Bay. Just kind of got caught in the backcourt without any help. No one came to help him. Gets caught in the 2-on-1, and there's that top 10 highlight from Goodine.
Leachmore got his foot in, kicked the inbounds pass away. Leachmore, who was out for a good chunk of that first half because he picked up 2 fouls pretty early on.
He's another guy who can sort of fill the shoes a little bit. No Fields, no Leach, needs some offense.
Goodine put a little bit of pressure on. Quinten Post, 17 of the Eagles, 46 points so far. Zackery, right-hand floater, got his own rebound. Good read by Zackery to see that shot was gonna miss. And he finds the rebound. That's 6 points for Jaeden Zackery.
Yeah, you got to attack the ball when you're rebounding. You can't just expect it to fall to you, assume that you have everybody boxed out. That's what Zackery did. He went after the basketball, and he was rewarded for his efforts.
Goodine slipping inside. Rogan, who had a big first half, continues it. 13 points for Michael Rogan.
Those are the 2 guys right now for Fairfield. Goodine breaks down the defense, collapses everybody inside, everybody caught ball watching, and Rogan sticks the 3 from the corner.
Fairfield within 9. Boston College is led by as much as 18 tonight. Post has the size advantage against Smith. Fairfield's starting to throw a double team that way though, and a League Bay's off the mark from 3 at the end of the timer, so had to get it off.
Just took too long to get into Post's hands that time, and by that point, late in the shot clock, you know you're going to throw the double-triple team at him. Here's the good look at the 3 from Rogan. Kind of just like early, giving him clean looks.
So Fairfield has extended the little bit of momentum they gained at the end of the first half, beginning in the second. Michael Rogan again, inside Peyton Smith, follow-away missed. And Rogan couldn't save it.
I have to imagine in that locker room, Fairfield's telling themselves, look, we won the last 5 minutes of the first half. Let's go win the first 5 minutes of the second half and then see where we're at.
Post got a lane. Quinten Post, oh, it's in and out. Follow once, no. Follow second time, no. Before it comes down to Goodine. Post reaches over the back and draws the foul. Second foul on Post. And a little pleasant opening night chat.
Post with some words for Smith. Got a little greedy there on the reach in. That was the right call. See, Post is just trying to assert himself a little bit.
Here's Goodine, inside against Post. Couldn't finish. And Zackery found the rebound and running in transition. Downhill, Zackery.
Excellent push.
And then got a piece. It is out of bounds. Going to Boston College.
Yeah, Goodine fingertipped it on the way out. You can see as soon as he gets this rebound, he turns up the floor, sees he's got a couple buddies with him. So he's off to the races. Nice split of the double team there to get to the rim. Again, love to see more of that from Jaeden Zackery this year. It's not necessarily being selfish, but just recognizing that when driving to the basket, sometimes you are the best option.
Earl Grant talked about it. He said everybody knows that, you know, Quinten Post is the big guy, but talk about the glue of the team. It's guys like Jaeden Zackery, and it's moments like that where he creates a defensive play, goes in transition, then causes another turnover, and leads to guys like Quinten Post knocking down the shot.
Nice job by Madsen. Did a good job eyeballing the rim, showing shot, draw the defense in, frees up Post.
Inside, and a foul goes against Boston College. It's Devin McGlockton right there, called for the foul.
That's the right call. Goes through the body, even though he does get a hand on the ball. Smith wisely going up with that left hand. Credit Fairfield again. You know, they obviously think very highly of him. They're trying to run some sets for him offensively there. He's in good position. It's just certainly a tough matchup for him here on opening night.
Aiden Smith, just a couple at the line. 12-point lead, Boston College. A League Bay open three. Off the mark. So BC has still struggled to touch from behind the arc. 4 of 14 from out there. That's in and out from Goodine. Fairfield now 6 for 16 from 3. Tie up underneath. 52-40, the BC lead. You see Jaeden Zackery is up to 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting tonight. His Eagles have a 12-point lead in the season opener over the Stags of Fairfield. Quinten Post. Skip pass for a League Bay. Keeps working around. 7 to shoot for Boston College. Madsen inside. Nearly lost the handle, but falling away. Wasn't a bad look for Madsen. Just rolled off. And it stays here, and the timer resets to 20.
Yeah, he's looking really as confident as maybe you've ever seen him in a BC uniform again. You know, the pedigree on him came in as sort of a knockdown shooter. But he can sort of find his rhythm early. Again, that's going to be a huge win for BC.
Madsen's pass was knocked away. Michael Rogan did a good job to find it. Still on the ground, though. Mason Madsen comes away for Fairfield. That is whistle behind the play, it looked like. I think there was an issue with the clock, perhaps.
Well, I don't know. So McGlockton dove for the ball, and then when he went to get up, he slipped on the floor. So when the play went down the other end, they were coming to mop up the floor. Here you see the slip after the dive. Watch as he gets up.
Oh, right there, yeah.
But they let the play continue for probably another 5-8 seconds.
I think they were looking at the shot clock, though, because the shot clock, if you saw in that image, did not reset to 30. So now they've added 10 seconds to 23. It looked like it only reset to 20 instead of 30, so perhaps that's why.
I can still understand why Chris Casey might be upset, because that whistle blew as they're getting a shot away.
Right, obviously it looked like a chance for Fairfield taking off. Here's Peyton Smith. Kicks back for Louis Bleachmore, who's too strong for 3. Good offensive rebound, though, for Smith. Buddy stepped out of bounds. Let's just look one more time. So look at the timer behind the play. When it resets, it only resetted to 20 on the change of possession rather than 30. So that's why that play gets blown dead.
Yeah, I can still sympathize with the coach, though. You know, whistle blows as you're putting a shot in the air. And now you have to go back and run half-court offense, even with 10 more seconds. I think you'd rather have an open look.
Yeah. League Bay steps in, pull-up jumper. So Prince, who scored the first 2 points of this game, and then adds his next bucket there. Not been quite as efficient a half offensively for both of these teams as the first half. Eagles 4 of 11, Fairfield 2 of 7 from the floor, and another turnover nearly created. Zackery couldn't quite save it.
And the size of Quinten Post coming into play there, just the wingspan to get a piece of that ball. But to your point, Eric, you know, the inefficiency early in the second half, just both teams really digging in defensively. Fairfield doing a good job denying Post the basketball.
A 6 to shoot, Jasper Floyd. Not quite there.
Meanwhile, Boston College just forcing Fairfield into a ton of tough shots.
Deep into the timer. Quinten Post, got it!
Now you can see he's setting that up the whole way there. He wanted to get a touch, hadn't had a good touch in a while. Says they're not gonna defend me a step beyond 3. I'll show them I can hit it.
Louis Bleachmore straight on to answer, no good. And Post fighting with his own man for the rebound. Won it over to League Bay. Now 8 rebounds for Post to go along with 22 points. And there's Jaeden Zackery, who moves into double figures and gives Boston College its largest lead of the night. A quick spurt for BC, a 7-0 run, led by the Quinten Post triple. 22 points to lead the Eagles. Jaeden Zackery talked about it. Coming out of junior college, a really impressive find. Was impactful as a freshman, but then last year, over 10 points a game, nearly 3 assists, was 4th in the ACC in steals per game. Kind of active all over the floor. Noel Grant talked about how he's kind of the glue piece of this group this year.
Yeah, for him, it all starts on the defensive end, right? Especially the ability to guard the other team's best ball handler, best scorer sometimes. He can guard all 3 guard positions.
Good find by Claudell Harris Jr. and the land.
Couple good long Euro steps there. But to finish the point on Zackery, I think the missing ingredient is maybe the confidence on the offensive end. You know, he has that swagger on defense, knowing that he can steal the ball from anybody at any time. If he develops some more confidence, and we're seeing it tonight with the ability to take the ball to the basket and score with either hand. This is a great job navigating into the body of Smith, finishing with the right hand. You know, if he shows that confidence consistently, he's a guy who can average 12, 13, 15 potentially points a game.
Just called for the block there, his 3rd foul. And back-to-back whistles here. This one against Devin McGlockton. So it's a 9-0 run for Boston College over the last minute 56 seconds of game time. Fairfield has not scored in more than 3.5 minutes.
No, but this is a crucial stretch here. Next few minutes, Zackery off the floor with 3 fouls. Post getting a breather, so who takes control for BC?
Harris nearly got to it again. 8 to shoot, Peyton Smith inside. Left hand, good. Peyton Smith with the first field goal of the night. Made a free throw earlier. And the freshman, who really, there are a lot of things to be excited about with him. It's just early and young. And he's going up against Quinten Post. Timeout was granted there on the tie-up underneath. With 12:09 remaining in the second half. 61-42, Boston College leads on opening night.
What makes a life?
Quarterback of the now bowl-eligible Boston College Eagles, Thomas Castellanos, meeting a few fans here tonight. There's Mason Madsen, who hits a 3 right in front of his bench.
Is he gonna throw his headband in the running now? Quinten Post might just be literally the biggest man on campus.
Hard to argue. Well, here it goes against Harris. Yeah, it's worth mentioning with Madsen. Last season, 40 made three-pointers, which led the team. But again, it just seemed like something wasn't quite right. And this offseason, he was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. He's on medication now, and he talked about it at Media Day, and he just said, you know, I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't mean it's perfect, but I can take medicine for it. It has allowed me to deal with it, and I can just kind of be free and play and understand what, and not have to worry about certain other things of what might hurt on what day. And just said it's excited for him to be healthy for the first time since he was a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, these guys know their bodies as well as anyone, certainly. I mean, they go through an intense training regimen through the offseason, through the preseason, all during the season. You know, they're constantly sort of being assessed and prodded at. So, you know, if he senses something's not right, he'll be able to tell you.
And there he is with a big block. So a couple of good defensive plays on that sequence. Handoff Post, got knocked out of his hands from behind, but McGlockton found it. Post with a step-back three. 25 points for Quinten Post.
Well, even when things don't go right, they go right for Quinten Post. There's McGlockton making another hustle play.
Post with his 8th career 20-point game tonight. Nice move at the rim by Peyton Smith. You can see some of the signs here for Smith.
Yeah, he's, you know, a couple nice turns to the left hand there, creating space.
Whistle on the floor before Madsen on the drive.
Madsen showing he can do more than just shoot the three. A little bit on the offensive end again. You know, they don't have helmet stickers in basketball, but if they give you, you know, I guess a little eagle sticker on the back of the shorts, Devin McGlockton would have just, you know, a whole slew of those on his...
They can take one of the hard hats from the students and go hard hat sticker. Claudell Harris, nice move and a foul.
Brown just late to the party there. Real good sign, I think, from Harris. Kind of a slow start. Kind of looked like he was just sort of waiting to kind of take his turn. Go back to, you know, some of the gaudy numbers he put up at Charleston Southern. Seems like he might be the kind of guy who sort of needs to be fed the ball, have the ball in his hands a lot in order to create for himself and others. And you know, when you get into this atmosphere, you got a guy like Quinten Post, you got a guy like Jaeden Zackery. Sometimes you might not get quite as many touches, so you got to make the most of your opportunities and find a way to fit in the rhythm of the offense.
Take comes inside to find a Bleachmore, and Post again affects him at the rim.
They tried to put Post on a poster. Bleachmore denied by the iron.
Unposterizable.
Is that a new word?
Chas Kelly bounced around it out.
That honestly sounds like a Dick Vitalis.
That's right. Peyton Smith step back, got the three.
He's hot. Check it out. He's got the, what, 7 of the last 9 points or so for Fairfield?
All 8 of his points in the second half for Peyton Smith. Another turnover. Smith on the run and got another. And Fairfield clawing their way a little bit closer. Not a nice run back here by Peyton Smith.
I think he just told the bench he needs a breather here. He's certainly earning his minutes here in the second half.
Harris, step back triple. Go off the mark. Donald Hand, though, found a turnover. Off the mark from 3. Handoff to Rogan, steps back. Michael Rogan, what a game in his real playing debut here as a redshirt last season. So playing as a redshirt freshman, he has 16 points tonight. Go along with 17 from Goodine. And a timeout taken by Boston College.
I mean, always tough to know what to expect from a team on opening night. And certainly you're not necessarily going to have a guy who's playing his first career game at the top of the scouting report. I guarantee you the next team that's playing Fairfield, Michael Rogan's going to be near the top of the scouting report.
Well, Boston College this summer took part every 4 years. You get an opportunity to take an international trip with the program, and BC going to Italy and Spain this summer on a 10-day trip. Just a wonderful experience. Got a little gladiator training, played 3 games as well. Talked with Earl Grant about it. First of all, Jaeden going gladiator style against the trainer. I think he's got an audition for Game of Thrones after the game tonight.
I mean, I don't know what the process is to select who is going to go against the trainer, but I'm sure if there was a team vote, Jaeden Zackery would have won almost unanimously.
Did he win? Do you win?
Well, I know if I'm on the team, I'm picking him to go
losing is a good option there. But, you know, we mentioned Earl, and, you know, he's been dealing with this Achilles injury. And he's in a boot still right now, but he had to basically, he was on the scooter the whole trip. So he said it was a little bit of a different experience for him than other people. Couldn't quite do as much as everyone else, but said it actually caused him to notice a few different things. Triple again for Quinten Post. And he is now 1 point short of his career high. That's 28 points tonight for Post.
White hot from the outside.
And then Post blowing for a steal. A little bit awkwardly on the fall, but thankfully able to get up and is okay.
Eric, I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever seen a 7-footer fall gracefully. So I'm not going to hold it against them. It's a long way down.
Post for a new career high. Got it! Points for Quinten Post.
He's going to take a big bow here after opening night, shooting Fairfield out of this zone real quick.
Rogan for 3 to answer off the mark. Bleachmore found the rebound between 2 Eagles and finishes at the rim. First points of the game for Louis Bleachmore. Post is open again, but he bobbled the pass, and it's out of bounds, going the other way. 7:43 to go in the second. It's a new career high, 31 points for the preseason All-ACC selection.
There's DNA.
Which had come from behind win earlier today against Holy Cross. Nice turnout from the students tonight. The season opener for BC and Fairfield. A new career high, 31 points for Quinten Post is the story tonight. Goodine with a career high of his own, 17, though all of those came pretty early on. Harris dipsy-do and is fouled as Goodine comes crashing in from behind.
Yeah, had that highlight reel dunk early in the second half. That was his last basket. Again, I thought he was going to be kind of key to Fairfield staying in this game. Ball has kind of gotten away from him in the second half. Now look, they've still found ways to score. Rogan continues to shoot the ball extremely well. Smith has gotten it going on the inside, but I just think, again, a guy with Goodine's pedigree, you know, if you feed him consistently, keep his confidence high, he was going to be able to sort of try to go toe for toe with what BC's throwing out there.
It's worth remembering what Chris Casey hopes this Fairfield team has. So we've talked about Goodine and how well he's played, but remember Fairfield is down Caleb Fields today, down Jalen Leach today, down Alexis Yenta today, and down Marina Sek today. All players that he feels like have the ability to make an impact as the year goes on.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of those guys are on the MAC all preseason team. Fields a second-teamer. Yenta, who hasn't even played for Fairfield yet, is a third-teamer. You know, he was a player of the year, or rookie of the year when he started out at USF, so he's definitely going to help out in the post.
Out of bounds to Boston College. Madsen back in for Boston College, has knocked down a few threes. Here's Payne, a bit strong from three, but an offensive rebound. McGlockton in the foul. 8 points for Devin McGlockton.
And this is what you love from McGlockton. He's not going to get out of his comfort zone. He's always going to crash the boards. Goes over the top of the smaller defender there. Always just plays within himself.
Devin McGlockton, the redshirt sophomore, who really took a jump last year for Boston College. 17 and a half minutes, 6 points a game, 4 rebounds. A career high 20 against Nebraska in a double-double effort. That was after redshirting as a freshman. Another guy. Well, Grant was talking about McGlockton and Zackery as kind of the glue guys of this group. What a move by Louis Bleachmore. The transfer from St. Joe's came off the bench last year. Started his career at Harcum College in Pennsylvania before going to St. Joe's. The Australia native into Fairfield for the first time this year. Madsen passed it up, and off McGlockton on the drop. Gave it up Zackery. Three-pointer is short. And a foul goes against McGlockton on the rebound try.
Well, it might be a little bit of a ways for Fairfield to get back in this game, but I tell you what, they'll at least have a couple of good things to put on the highlight reel tonight. Yeah, Jaeden with that one-handed finish on the alley-oop, and then Bleachmore with that blow-by. Just got Post off balance and saw nothing but rim.
Out of bounds, going the other way. So 5:35 remaining. And an 81-58 Boston College lead here on opening night. Post already with a career-high 31. Payne on the drive. Rolls around and off. But Peyton Smith lost the rebound. It's out of bounds, though. Off BC is the ruling. Their foul called underneath with 5:02 remaining. So McGlockton and Payne come out here. Elijah Strong is back in, another one of these new freshmen for Boston College. Strong from Myers Park High School, where he helped that school win its first state title in 57 years. Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, we mentioned it was a little bit of a slower start to this second half. There's Donald Hand off the mark from three, but BC has shot the ball well enough as this game has gone on, right back to 50% and a half, 51% for the game. A team that was certainly not known for its offense a season ago. In fact, they are 3 points away from tying last year's season high in points. Madsen couldn't finish inside. Good eye, long two is no good. That is out of bounds, going back the other way.
You said one of the talking points was the offense and just how, in rhythm and sort of up to speed they were early on in the year. I remember too, going into last season, they were a little bit banged up. Had some guys who were sort of on their way to being healthy. Quinten Post was one of them who missed a bunch of games early in the year. So having just about everybody available certainly makes a difference.
Harris waited, 3 ball. It's a little short. Kind of the next step for Claudell Harris. Quite find his shot tonight. An accomplished scorer. Talked about trying to find that consistency. Averaged nearly 18 a game last year in the Big South for Charleston Southern. Leachmore falling away. Chance at the rim though, and the follow by Goodine is blocked by Post. Strong to the bucket. Elijah Strong went to the left hand. Couldn't quite finish. Both teams have gone a little bit cold from the floor here. We have not had a point in the last 3 minutes of this game. Down to 3:07 remaining. And an 81-58 Boston College lead.
Yeah, getting close to the time where BC can start to take the air out of the ball a little bit.
Leachmore got a piece, nearly a takeaway. A tie-up will give possession to Fairfield.
Zackery was out of bounds.
81-58, 2:51 to go.
There are trucks.
Tonight, a new career high. Passing is 29 that he had last year against Notre Dame. It was also the day that Boston College scored their most points a season ago, 84. They were 3 away from that. The final 2:45. Goodine has had a strong day for Fairfield, as has Rogan. Michael Rogan. Certainly maybe not the guy you would have picked off the card, but again, with a number of different players injured for Fairfield, you need somebody else to step up, and Rogan has certainly done that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you didn't know who was going to step up.
That's good from the corner for Donald Hands.
There were so many new faces in this Fairfield group, a lot of them sort of getting their first taste of college basketball. Rogan was one of them.
Armani Mighty's in there for Boston College now as well. Final 2 minutes tonight. Let's hand off the mark there. Goodine for 3. So he is, again, came in with a career high of 12. He has blown that away. 22 points on 8 of 18 shooting for Bryson Goodine.
Say, you look at a fully healthy Fairfield team, they're going to be good at the guard spot. Adding Goodine with Fields, Jalen Leach, Jasper Floyd.
As Casey talked about it, the MAC has been a guard-heavy league. There's the first points of the career for Fred Payne, the freshman from Grambling, Louisiana. Smith got it. Saw some signs from Peyton Smith in this second half.
Absolutely. I mean, he was getting it taken to him in that first half by Quinten Post, and sort of took the break, it felt like, to kind of assess. Maybe coaches kind of pump him back up a little bit, say, hey, you're here to play for a reason.
Donald Hand adding a couple of threes here late. That's 9 points for Hand. And Chris Casey is going to use a timeout with 45.2 seconds remaining. Oh, what a day it was for Quinten Post, as we talked about, leading the way with the new career high 31 points. He made 5 3-pointers, blocked 3 shots as well. We talked about it off the beginning of the show, the recipe for Boston College, where they're trying to go this year, and a lot is going to ride on the back of number 12. He certainly proved that he's up for it.
So far, so good, right? You know, all it is, you know, a series of one-game tests. And on night one, he certainly passed the test. Beyond just the 31 points, the three-point shooting, you know he can do all that. I think you have to be really excited about 11 rebounds and 4 blocks. I mean, he only averaged about 6 boards a game last year. If he's going to become sort of a guy who attacks the glass, especially on the defensive end with his size, he's going to be a factor, and he's going to help you keep teams to just one and done on the possessions offensively. So, you know, if he can, again, take that next step, improve the rebounding, improve the defense, and keep the offensive game consistent, you're looking at a special player.
And again, and we kind of asked Earl Grant this, but even just to do it, night one like this, to make that biggest statement as Louis Bleachmore connects from 3. Fairfield's hung in and down a lot of players. Be interesting to see how they pan out in the MAC this year. You saw what's on the horizon for Boston College. They will be on the road starting a home-and-home series with the Citadel in Earl Grant's native Charleston. Jazz Kelly inside, handoff was stripped away. And then a foul committed by Kelly on the back end. Fairfield will come back to New England on Thursday. They'll take on Rhode Island before heading home into their brand new arena, just their 2nd season, as Fairfield will use the timeout here with 10 seconds remaining. The Leo Mahoney Arena, which was just built on Fairfield's campus, opened last year. Brand new facility, and Boston College also with a new facility as well. Their new indoor practice facility, which was dedicated at the end of September. The Hogue Pavilion, it is state-of-the-art throughout. Practice courts, weight rooms, video rooms, and lounge areas for both the men's teams and the women's team. New locker rooms. Really brings Boston College to where you need to be in right now. And Earl Grant talked about how important it is to have it with recruits, bringing people in. Joanna Burr to be back to be the head coach of the Boston College women's team talked about it as well.
A Quinten Post size couch?
That's right. Most important.
Got to have a couch of the 7-footers. And yeah, I mean, these are obviously just amazing, amazing facilities for these student athletes.
Thank you.
And they are all very appreciative. That's connected here to Conti Forum if you haven't been on campus recently. So connected to the old entrance that looks out on the rest of campus on the Commonwealth Ave side. You know, one thing we've talked a lot about through the years with Boston College, and I think it's fair to say, Earl Grant would talk about this, is, again, what the quest may be in terms of being relevant and in the conversation at the end of the year. You do have to take care of business in some of these non-conference games. Give Boston College credit, they have done that tonight. Two at the line for Floyd. It's 9 points for Jasper Floyd. Fairfield putting the press on with just 10 seconds remaining. And Bleachmore commits the foul. Can remember, I know the fans, but Fairfield's only had like 10 practices with this group, so any minute is kind of important.
Yeah, that's why you're getting timeouts late down the stretch. You know, they're using this to practice end-of-game situations. Yeah. I mean, you know, obviously this is not like a one-possession game, but, you know, they're practicing, you know, how would you defend in this situation if you're down 2 or down 1?
Out to Payne, and that will likely do. 89-70 is the final as Boston College wins the opener.